Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. We're certainly glad to have you today. And as always, we want to thank BTC Fiber for hosting our program. And you can see our interviews on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's Cable Channel 18. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Needful Things General Stores right there on Highway 127. You can go by and see Kim and see all the fine things she has. She might find something that you need. Or maybe you don't need, but you might want to get it anyway. And also her husband has Fall Creek Realty. So go by and see those fine folks and see what they have to offer. And today we have with us Kelly McAnally, and she is the Content Center Manager for the local CRC. And Kelly, it's good to have you. Thank you for being with us. First, let's do a little background on CRC. And do you know how long it's been around? I know it's been around for a while.
Yes, we have been around for a little over 30 years. I believe
Really?
they started in 1992 in Austin, Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
And they decided to add a contact center in the South. And that came in around early 2000s.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So that's how long we've been in Dunlap.
Okay, because I know when I called to interview you, I think it went to Minnesota first.
Yes, that is our home office is in Minnesota. We also have two other offices besides Dunlap and Minnesota. They're located in Abilene, Texas and Kirksville, Missouri.
All right, so is this common for a lot of other electrical services to have these call centers?
Well, we actually, I think there are other call centers that service electric co-ops. We are the largest. CRC is the largest. And we actually have about 450 co-ops and electric utilities all over the U.S. That we answer calls for.
So that was one thing I was going to bring out, that a lot of people think that when they call, when the power's out, you think you might be talking to somebody here, but you may not be talking to somebody here in Dunlap. You might be talking to someone else.
That's correct.
In another state even.
That's correct. We do try to route the calls to where they come to a Tennessee agent first, but if they're all tied up on the phone, then it will go to another office.
And you said you had about a little over 400 co-ops you work with, and that's quite a few states, I imagine.
Right, we're in, I believe, 47 or 48
Really?
states.
Wow.
Yeah, we even have Alaska and Hawaii.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I imagine they're primarily Alaska and Hawaii, those centers.
Well, we handle the co-ops that are in those states. We handle their calls in the 4 centers that we have.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that. Okay. All right. Good. And so this center here even covers a lot of states, right? I mean,
Yes.
when the calls come in,
Yeah. It like I said, we try to route the call to where it'll go to people that have that same dialect in that area. So if it's a northern co-op, it'll go to the Minnesota co-op first. But like I said, if all those agents are on a call, then it will overflow to the other sides.
And I imagine recently y'all been busy with all the storms and everything that's been hitting the country.
Yes, Christmas was very busy. We had snowstorms and yeah, it was really busy.
I think we've had it all: snowstorms, tornadoes, thunderstorms, wind, hail, floods.
Yeah, this is usually what we consider our downtime. Our busy times are normally spring and summer with all the storms, but we haven't had downtime yet.
I've heard of a lot of companies having to do a lot of overtime actually during this time, simply because of what's been going on.
Right. We have a unique situation, though. I feel like CRC, as long as I have been with CRC, which has been about 13 years, they've never had mandatory overtime. We do pay we call it volunteer or peak pay, so we pay them extra to work outside their normal hours. And we've always had really good employees that want to step up and help out our memberships, and so they will pick up the extra hours and and we really appreciate that. And so it's nice to not have to make people
Yeah.
work extra, you know.
Yeah, 'cause they usually resent that.
Yeah,
They have to make-
exactly. We've
And-
not had to do that, so it's been really good.
Well, how many employees do you have here at the local CRC Center?
At the local side, I'm actually got a new class that's starting Monday, and with that new class, we probably have a little over 100 employees.
Oh, really? That
Mhm.
many? I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, and I would say probably over half of them are working from home.
Really?
hmm
So when they get a call, it goes to their line at home. I mean, to their computer.
It goes through the
line.
computer
Right,
system,
the
but
computer
yes,
yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
computer system. Well, there's a lot of that now working from
Mhm.
home, and you don't have to have as much power and electricity and heating and cooling and all that in your offices.
yeah. It's well, in the as far as paper products and things like that, it I guess you could look at it that it saved the money in that, or saved the company money in that way. But we have some employees that tried it working at home and just didn't like it, so they
Yeah.
came back into the office. So it's nice to have either option.
Right. Well, that's nice, but 100 employees. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
For you figure and the building is actually not that big of a building for 100
Right.
employees.
Yeah, but like I said, we
that's
don't
fine.
have that many,
And-
and it's a 24/7 call center, so that's all 3 shifts.
Right.
Those employees are spread out amongst 3 shifts.
And do they? Well, of course, you said 47, 48 states.
Mhm.
I guess they're constantly taking calls about something, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. We do have downtimes, but the calls seem to be different in nature depending on what time they're calling in.
Uh-huh.
People will call and make payments all hours of the day or night. But then, people inquiring about their bill may call more often during the day.
Uh-huh.
People that are disconnected usually don't call till they get home from work in the evenings, So, yeah, it just varies.
Well, and let's see. Now, now I know where you're located, but you might want to tell everybody where you are located.
Okay, we are at 207 Resource Road, and that is located behind Sequatchie Valley Electric Co-op in Dunlap.
And like I say, I know you stay busy. What all, if I was an employee there at CRC, what all does that job entail other than taking the phone call?
We're an inbound call center, so that's what it entails. You are sitting at a computer desk,
Right.
A station. You are taking inbound calls, and they're service-related call handling. So we handle outages, we handle payments. Some of our utilities handle sewer calls and gas calls,
Oh.
things like that. So they're trained in all that. Then we also have a section of dispatchers, and our dispatchers are actually in contact with the linemen of the co-ops and utilities, and they're sending them out on outages.
Okay, so they're, at any one time, they could be doing a lot of calls on various things. As
Right.
you said, gas and sewer.
Yeah.
And I mean,
You may be calling a technician that handles, a water call or a sewer call, and yeah.
well, that's something I didn't know, because I thought it was strictly just electrical in nature.
Oh, no, we do have utilities that handle, they could even handle internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so.
Wow. Well, that's pretty interesting. That is stuff I didn't know, so
Yeah.
that's interesting to know. Let's see. Well, we've already gone over that, but
Mhm.
so I guess at times, like you said, during December, you were staying pretty busy. Everybody's, I guess, is constantly calling. I guess with all the storms and everything and all the
Oh,
weather.
yeah. Electricity is not necessarily a necessity, but we've had it so long that it's hard to live without it.
Yeah.
And so people can be pretty upset about their power being off.
Sure.
Especially, if you think about it, it was around Christmas holiday and people's got family coming over and they're trying to cook food.
Right.
And,
Right.
so yeah, they want to constantly call and get updates and find out when their power's going to come back on and things like that.
Well, I always get tickled at people on Facebook. Someone, without a doubt, the power goes off. Y'all, why is the power out? And I thought, and a lot of times it could be as major as maybe a car accident where you hit a line, knock lines down.
Right.
And then other times it could be something as simple as a squirrel chewing into a line.
Correct.
And and that happens quite a bit too.
Yeah, and it's hard. Sometimes people don't understand that. They think if their power's out, the linemen should be working right outside their house.
Yeah.
And it may be something that happened further up the line that is causing that outage, so they may not be working right there in your area. So it's kind of hard to explain that to people over the phone, that's why they don't see somebody working.
Right, because they could be working a transformer that's down the road, which is the cause of the problem. And as soon as they get that fixed, then their power go on.
Exactly.
So it's not always that simple. I know one time one of our transformers in the backyard, it went, and I was sitting there watching it when it happened.
Yeah.
And I called, and they kept asking me where, and I said, no, it's in my backyard.
Yeah,
I said, that's where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so when you call in, and our CSRs are trained to pick up on keywords that you say. So I'm sure you heard a loud boom, or you might have seen the transformer explode or catch on fire or whatever happened. So our CSRs are trained to pick up on those keywords that'll help the linemen determine what the problem is.
Right, because sometimes people don't realize too there's surges happen all the time, and maybe my transformer did blow, but it's because it's a surge from somewhere else.
True.
And so a lot of things happen, and like you said, people want it done then.
Yeah. They think there's a switch you can flip just to turn it back on.
Yeah. I mean, I do have the surge protectors with the electric co-op, and that helps, but it doesn't always prevent everything going out. So y'all staying pretty busy then.
Yep, we are. I mean, like I said, it can, a lot of factors can go into why we're busy. The first of the month we have a lot of calls, people wanting to pay their bill. We have a lot of calls after a holiday for the same reason, and for the co-ops being closed during a holiday or whatever. So it ebbs and flows, and sometimes there's rhyme and reason to it, and sometimes it just is what it is.
Well, when they pay their bill, whoever's taking that call, they can take that directly to that co-op.
Yeah, it actually we go into their system, their payment system. Yeah.
So from the computer there, and so y'all have access to everywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Around.
Good way to put it.
Yeah. We don't take payments for every co-op that we answer calls for, but we do for most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we just go into their payment system, and we have our own passwords and things to access that, and it's all secure. It's we don't listen to any card numbers. They punch it in their phone themselves, and so it's PCI compliant. We have to be in order to take payments.
Yeah, imagine if you listen to all the card numbers, somebody can get wealthy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good that people know that the security is in place to take care of all that and prevent someone from taking advantage of that.
Right.
And I imagine most of your employees, you keep a pretty good number of employees. They continue to be employed. In other words, they're not just changing jobs all the time.
No, and I mean, it is kind of funny. It's really hard to articulate what they're getting into when you're interviewing people that want to come to work there. And I will say it's not a job for everybody. I mean, not everybody can deal with the different personalities and the people that are calling in, and you know, if you don't like talking on the phone, it's not the place for you to be.
Right.
You know, and like I said before, the you know, some customers can get really aggravated over the
I'm
phone,
sure.
and you would be probably shocked at some of the things they can say to you. And I think a lot of it's because you're not face to face with them.
Right.
You know, it's over the phone. They're more bold, I guess, is the word. But a lot of people can't step outside that and know that it's not geared toward them. It's more the situation. And even though it might sound like it's coming to you, so a lot of
Right.
people get into it and they can't get away from that, and you know, it can cause them stress, and so we do have a little bit of turnover because of that. Because when you think about call center, you think, oh, I'm just sitting there answering the phone. And that is what you're doing, but you're also having to deal with that type of customer a lot of times. And sometimes it's enough to make you have that extra stress that you don't want, and people leave for that reason. But as far as CRC as a company, I believe they do everything in their power to do things to make it fun or to take stress away from you, or you know, as much as they can. You know, and we don't expect our CSRs to sit there and take abuse.
Right.
And we give the caller a chance to correct themselves. So we will give them a warning saying, you know, I'm not going to continue to listen to this. I'm trying to help you, you know. And if they can't correct themselves, then we will go ahead and disconnect the call. So we do have things in place to protect our CSRs when that happens. But, you know, like I said, it's just not for everybody, and some people can't let that just roll off their shoulders, and,
Right.
you know.
So you have plenty of coffee and Mellow Yellow on hand.
Yeah, we do have coffee and hot chocolate.
That would be me. I'd have to have the coffee.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, I guess, do your shifts, do they stay like first shift, second shift, or do they swing shifts? Or how does that work?
No, if you well, first of all, you pick your schedule pretty much. We have a master schedule of schedules, and so we have certain ones that are available, and you can look at those and see which one you want when you're hired. And then, you know, periodically through the year, we'll send out new schedules, and if you know, because life happens, and
Right.
your home family life might change, and you need a different shift or whatever. So, but once you pick a schedule, you're on that schedule until you decide to change. And we do a 3-week block schedule. So basically we just do the same 3 weeks over and over again.
Uh-huh.
So that's how our employees know their schedule for the entire year. They just are repeating the same 3 weeks. But it is on either first, second, or third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we have what we call split shifts too. So it's not like like our first shift is not all 8 to 4, 4 to, and you know, second shift 4 to midnight, and then third shift midnight to 8. We have different hours within those time frames as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. It sounds like you're trying to work with everybody
Mhm.
on the schedule. And what's, if you can, I don't know if you can get into this now, but what's like a starting pay for someone that,
Our CSRs start at $15 an hour.
well, that's pretty good pay.
And then we have a shift diff for second shift and third shift. And then on the weekends, no matter what shift you're working, it's an extra $2 an hour.
Well,
Yeah. Mhm.
well, that's pretty good pay, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and you know, they can earn the privilege of working from home after they've worked there for 3 months.
oh, okay.
So we like for you to get through the training, and then it's based on your abilities. You know, how well you can work independently and things like that, and your stats.
And communicating with everybody. And
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah,
Like I
because
said.
when you're at home, it's a little bit harder harder to communicate with everybody, but not impossible. We have it's kind of like an instant message system, so we call it Spark, but they can instant message each other or a group of people, and so it works really well.
Okay, because I know sometimes when like you said, the people you're talking to, like I say, sometimes they want stuff done right then, and the call center may not have any idea what's going on at all.
Right.
They just know I need to call these people and let them check it out. And because I know everybody wants their power.
Yeah.
We're so used to, like you said, we're so used to it.
Right.
And when it didn't used to be that way, oil lamps and fireplaces, that was the rule. Well, is there anything you'd like to say that we haven't talked about?
No, the only thing I can think of is if anybody's interested in joining CRC, we go through Paycom now, so you can, and Paycom is kind of like Indeed, or you can go on there and set up an account, and then you can upload your resume to that Paycom site, and then you can set up for an alert. So when this CRC in Dunlap is hiring, it will send you an alert, so you can go and fill out the application and everything. So we're not hiring right now. Like I said, I've got a new class starting on Monday, but you never know when we might be hiring again.
Right. And you said this one is one of 4 locations?
Yes. We have Abilene, Texas, Austin, Minnesota, and Kirksville, Missouri.
Oh, wow. Pretty spread out.
Yeah. Yep. I've been to Minnesota office, and I've been to the Kirksville office, but I have yet to go to the Texas office. Hopefully I'll get to do that one day.
I bet it'll be big too.
Yeah.
Everything's big in Texas.
Right. That's what I've heard.
I've never been to Texas. I'd like to go someday.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, I'm certainly glad to talk to you today, and it's been very, very informative for me. I've learned a lot of things I didn't know about CRC, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And again, folks, you can see our interview on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's cable channel 18. And again, we want to thank our sponsors, Needful Things General Store right there on Highway 127. Go by and see Kim there and see what you can find that you need. Also, her husband right next door at Fall Creek Realty. See if he deals with larger properties. So if he has something you might be interested in, contact him. And until next time, have a good day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.